If you like escape rooms, this video might be for you. In our work, we take a deep dive into the world of analog and digital puzzles. You know, escape rooms are very popular, and there are various kinds of such games. Real-world facilities, card games, but also digital versions and even virtual reality implementations. That's why we think that researchers and practitioners need some common ground, some framework on how to approach the creation of such games. So in short, the paper we are presenting provides the building blocks and atomic components that are meant to facilitate the development process of escape rooms. In fact, we contribute two models: a high-level framework that covers the overall design process of such games, and a low-level taxonomy that focuses explicitly on puzzle design. The most important thing to keep in mind is that we are not limiting ourselves to a certain kind of escape rooms. We consider them all, no matter if analog or digital. Now let's start with the big picture first. Based on previous work, we suggest a nonlinear model that organizes the creation process in general considerations and the actual puzzle design. Usually we would begin by thinking about the target group and the main purpose of such a game. For instance, it could be educational or made for children. That's why we need to carefully consider the abilities and interests to create a tailored experience. We also need to establish an interesting and fitting theme and narrative, for instance, a secret laboratory. Having a theme helps with visual and audio design, but also imposes certain restrictions on objects or props that we could have in such a room. The same argument also applies to the choice of the modality. Just think about a 2D tablet game compared to a virtual reality experience. These general considerations are intertwined with puzzle design. For instance, let's consider how individual puzzles can be organized and connected. One way would be to have a linear approach, meaning that puzzles have to be solved one after another. And this again might be influenced by the choice of the room theme. In a similar manner, the hint and failure system depends on general considerations, such as the choice of the platform. Think about a hybrid card game where you have a companion app that provides you certain tips if you got stuck. So after establishing this big picture, let's move on to the actual puzzle design. We wanted to create some sort of a lookup table consisting of atomic puzzle types. We worked on an atomic level to prevent ambiguity because complex puzzles often consist of several basic challenges. So ideally, our resulting list can be used for a more systematic and efficient puzzle creation, and also as a source of inspiration. And that's how we proceeded. We started with an extensive literature review to create a first version of the taxonomy, and then moved on to playtesting. We went through a number of analog escape rooms, refined our taxonomy, switched to the digital domain, including virtual reality, and adapted our structure once again so that the taxonomy would be applicable in both domains. I won't go into much details for each step and just outline some interesting insights. So that's how our taxonomy looked after the literature review. Essentially, we subdivide puzzles into mental challenges and physical challenges. Mental challenges require thinking and observing, whereas physical challenges are often based on agility or some clever object manipulations. Then we went to a number of real-life facilities, board and card games. The most important thing that we added was the aspect of distributed knowledge or information sharing, because escape rooms often rely on some sort of collaboration between players. For instance, there are rooms where players get separated but still need to exchange some relevant codes to progress. Then we jumped into the digital domain, and it turned out that most of the digital puzzles are just copies of their analog counterpart. So in summary, the taxonomy still works and requires only slight extensions regarding mental and physical challenges. This changed, however, when we also included virtual reality games. Especially after playing the game Last Labyrinth, we detected an entirely overlooked kind of puzzles, namely emotional challenges such as overcoming fear or disgust, or dealing with some negative consequences. So here are the most interesting insights. Firstly, analog and digital puzzles have much more in common than one would expect. Digital puzzles are often just copies, and we see a lot of missed opportunities. We should consider a digital-first approach for puzzle design in order to create some entirely novel player challenges. For instance, a few games already introduced supernatural abilities like shrinking the player or having some sort of magical eye pieces. Such digital-first ideas are even more interesting if we consider the upcoming augmented or mixed reality escape rooms. Secondly, puzzles that involve some sort of emotional challenges are really overlooked, and we believe that this building block can be utilized much more frequently for future digital but also analog escape rooms. So that's all for now. We hope that our initial taxonomy can be refined in future and prove beneficial for all kinds of puzzles, even beyond the domain of escape rooms. Thanks for watching.